All right, guys, I'm getting ready to make my chicken soup. Right now I have my water on the stove. It's going to be heating up, coming to a boil. So I have my chicken right here. I got to finish cleaning it, but right now it's soaking in some water, vinegar, and lime juice. I've already cut up my veggies. What I have is some corn, some carrots, some chocho, mochiote, that's like a squash, some butternut squash, have some potatoes already cut up, got some thyme, scallion, onions, scotch bonnet. Also got some pimento seeds in here also. Got some little pimento seeds that's gonna give it a lot of flavor. So yeah, we about to get that going. Well, those are the ingredients. The coconut milk. We'll be adding 1 can of coconut milk to that, and 3 containers of the Grace Cock flavored soup mix. In my bowl, I have about 10 pounds of leg quarters. I'm going to boil those and then pull the meat off the bone. Okay, guys. Like I said, I let this chicken boil for about 10 minutes. It's not all the way done. It's going to finish cooking once we put it back in the pot. But what you see me doing right here is I'm pulling the meat off the leg quarter. Taking all the meat off the leg quarters, deboning it. These chicken bones, they're gonna add a lot of flavor to your soup dish. So we're gonna put these back in there till it's just about done, and then we'll add the dumplings, and we probably got about 20 more minutes on this pot. We'll be done. All right, so chicken, everything is in the pot now. Only thing we have to add now is our onions, our scotch bonnet. We'll put in coconut milk, and we'll let this thing thicken up. Okay, guys, so right now I'm gonna take the bones out of the soup. I'll pick the rest of those off. There's a lot of meat on there, so I'll pick that off and add it back to the pot. Can't let nothing go to waste there. Get all the bones out. I think I got 3 more in there. Yep. So we got those out. Now we add our scotch bonnet, onions, our potatoes. Gonna add 1 can of coconut milk. Gonna give it a nice freshness, a nice sweetness. And then we're gonna add our soup seasoning. I added 1 already. I added 1 earlier in the mix, and I'm gonna add these remaining 2. Once we got it in there, we'll go ahead and let it cook down some more, and then we'll taste it again to make sure the flavor is right. If not, we'll add, salt, or shouldn't need any salt because these have pretty high salt content, but we'll add some pepper, some all-purpose seasoning or something like that, but looks like pretty good. You can see how that coconut milk changed the whole complexity of that. I'm gonna let that come to a mix. We got this pepper in there, but it's gonna be just for the flavor. We're not don't want that to burst. Don't want it to be too hot. Let me bring that back to a boil. And I guess we got about 20 minutes on that thing, 20, 30 minutes. And she's gonna be soup. Yes. Stay tuned. we're going to be making some red bean soup. What we have out here are all of the ingredients and root vegetables and seasonings and herbs that'll be going into the dish. We have some scallions, some onions, some cut up garlic, a few pieces of celery, carrots. This is acorn squash, and this is chocho, but this is also a squash. I'll cut up some potatoes. We'll add in 2 cans of coconut milk. The red peas, these should soak overnight. I didn't soak them overnight, but I'm soaking them in garlic, pimentos, and what I'll do is start cooking those down now, and they're gonna just have to cook longer, and they'll cook until they're tender. This soup, this is gonna be the pot that I'm gonna start boiling the red peas in, and this is our pigtails. The pigtails, what I've done is I'm boiling them 3 times. This is the 3rd time. You want to boil them to get the salt out. So we're gonna, this is the 3rd time that I'm boiling these. You boil them for about 15 to 20 minutes a piece. And then I'll add those to the red beans once they start boiling. But this whole red bean soup, it's a real hearty soup. It's not a soup that you eat when you have a soup and a sandwich. This is gonna be hearty all by itself. And it's gonna give you all the nutritional value and taste and fulfillment that you need. But just be advised, it's a whole overnight dish. You're supposed to soak the peas, soak the pigtails overnight in cold water. And so it's a lengthy process to get the red pea soup the way you want it to be. But okay, guys, the beans are still boiling. We're about 28 minutes in. We probably have another 20 minutes or so before those beans are kind of tender. This is why it's very important that you soak your beans overnight so they don't have to cook as long. So the beans are cooking and they're still kind of hard. But I got the garlic in there, and the garlic is gonna help those beans start to cook faster. They're gonna make them cook faster. So that's what it is. So I'll be back with you in about 20-25 minutes. Now that the beans are tender, we're gonna add in our squashes, chayote, acorn squash, and the carrots, and we're gonna let them simmer in there for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna add in the rest of the ingredients. We're gonna add in our thyme and scallions and onions, garlic, and we're gonna add the rest of that to the pot. And also, after those simmer for about 20 minutes, we'll cut these 2 potatoes and add those to the pot, as well as our 2 cock flavored soup mix, and the coconut milk. So the peas are tender now, and we're just adding the pigtails into the beans. We're gonna let that cook and simmer for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll add the root vegetables. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the last container of about 10 cups of chicken broth to the mix, to our soup. So I put 3 of these in there. This is the 3rd one. And we brought it all to a boil. Now, we'll go ahead and add in our vegetables. We'll add in the vegetables. Carrots. Chayote. And some more celery. And we'll mix this up. We'll let this simmer. We'll let this come back to a boil about 15 minutes. And then we'll add in the remaining scallions onions and garlic and a habanero. And we'll be back. Okay guys, we're making progress on the soup. The root vegetables have been simmering on a medium-high heat for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I'm getting ready to add in now potatoes, scallions and onions and garlic. Adding that in. Also adding in our coconut milk, 2 cans of coconut milk going in. Bring this back to a simmer. This coconut milk is going to give it that good color, good flavor. Putting in our soup seasoning. This is where all your seasoning will come from, right here. Now you can find these on your ethnic aisle in Walmart. You can go down there in the Jamaican and Mexican and Cuban and Asian aisle, and you should be able to find those soup mixes. Works wonders in the soup, trust me. Give it a beautiful flavor. I put my habanero pepper in there also. I know it usually calls for a Scotch bonnet, but I didn't have a Scotch bonnet, so I used the habanero pepper. At the end, I have some Scotch bonnet sauce hot sauce that I'll put in there, but I didn't want to have it too spicy, so we'll bring this pot back to a boil. Again, we'll let it cook for about 30 minutes, and then it'll be done. Okay guys, the soup is done. As you can see, all of those root vegetables are mostly cooked down. Squashes have cooked down. The scallions have all cooked into this soup mixture, and it's gonna be awesome. I'm telling you, it's a beautiful aroma. Got the pimentos on the top. The pigtails are nice and tender. Okay guys, this is the Scotch bonnet pepper sauce that I was telling you about. I took out the habanero pepper. I added about 4 drops of that Scotch bonnet sauce to the soup, and it's all mixed up. The soup is ready. Beans are tender, potatoes are tender, the carrots are good, pigtails are nice and tender, and this soup is packed with flavor. And this is not a soup that you have when you say you're gonna go have a soup and a salad. This is a soup and a sandwich. This soup stands alone. It's a hearty soup that you can eat all by itself, and you can be very
looking at those areas of how you became who you became, and then looking at what were all the influxes that interfered with all of the stuff. We don't like to do that. That's too much work, Selena. Sometimes you have to take it in small pieces, in small fragments. You can't just run through it and say, okay, let's merrily do this work. It'll be fun. No, it's not fun work. It's painful. But we have to do it to get through it.
Okay, we have smoked neck bones and neck bones in the pot. We're going to be parboiling these for about 15-20 minutes once the water stops boiling. And what you see on the top, that's all that scum and nasty stuff on the neck bone. We're gonna skim all that. We're gonna dump that out, and then we're gonna add water back to the pot, bring it to a boil, and then start layering in our seasonings. Okay, guys. So look, I've parboiled the meat. You can see have a lot of that scum and stuff to the top of the meat. So you want to do that. I have this boiling in water and vinegar. Did it for about 15 minutes till you get a little medium boil. And then we're going to bring this over to the sink. And we're going to pour that off. Sorry about that smoke, guys. We're going to pour that off. We'll wash out the pot. And we'll start this process all over. So, when some of the smoke clears out, I'll show you guys. Okay, so in the neck bone, you know, we got that scum and stuff off of there. And we're gonna clean all out from in between the bones. We're gonna get all that stuff out. We're gonna clean these up, and we're gonna put them back in the pot. We'll bring them to a boil with all of our ingredients over here. What we have here, we have onions, corn, potatoes, carrots. We have our Flavors House Mix. Got 3 cans of diced tomatoes. Instead of putting water back in there, I'm gonna mix it with the chicken broth. Got our okra, and that's gonna be our neck bone stew. Okay, guys, so look, I've already cleaned most of the neck bones and put them in the pot. I just wanted to show you how I was talking when I said clean them. You want to get all of this stuff out of there. You want to get that out because you parboil them. It makes that yak and scum or whatever it is easier to come out. And then you just want to get off any other little sediments or anything like that. You use a butter knife, a spoon, a fork, a knife, whichever one you want to use. You just want to pull all of that stuff out of there. To me, all that's yucky. And then when you're cooking this, since you've already cleaned them down, took all that scum out, you won't have all of that nastiness rising to the top of your pot when you finish. Okay, guys, the neck bones are in the second phase of cooking now. They're in the water again with the chicken broth. We've added some bay leaves and some onions and the seasoning. So what we'll do is have this pot come back to a boil. And once it comes back to a boil and our meat is kind of tender, I'll start adding in the other ingredients. I'll start adding in the diced up tomatoes, some of the carrots, things of that nature. But yeah, it's working. You can see it. Okay, guys, that neck bone soup is at a rolling boil. We probably have about 15 more minutes. We'll check the doneness and we'll start adding in our other ingredients. We'll layer those in. Okay, guys, we got the 3 cans of diced tomatoes going in. Bear with me there. I'm trying to be the cameraman and the okay, so we got 3 cans of diced tomatoes in the pot. Gonna let that cook down. Let these flavors marry up. We'll bring it back to a boil. About 20 more minutes. We'll add in our carrots. That pot is smelling real lovely right now. Trust me. Okay, guys, back at the pot. I've added in carrots and our potatoes. We have some pretty thick cut potatoes here, so I put those in a little earlier than I would. Now, we bring that pot back to a boil. You have to be extremely patient with this pot and season it at each and every level. And man, you're gonna get one tremendous dish, okay? Okay guys, we're just adding in that okra. Those neck bones are pretty tender right now. We're gonna turn the heat down on this and we'll start it to simmer. Let's also added in the corn along with that okra. Probably let that cook for about 15, 20 more minutes, but we're gonna turn it down and we're gonna bring it back to a boil, and then we're gonna turn that pot back down. And guys, don't forget, gotta season this pot at every layer, okay? Just wanna put a little seasoning in there. And what that is, that's a blend of seasoning salt, garlic powder, onion powder, black pepper, and a little bit of complete seasoning, about 3 tablespoons. Mix all that together. It's a nice clean pot right there, guys. Not a lot of grease. Just goodness, vegetables, the neck bone, smoked neck bone right there, the regular neck bone, corn, okra. We are the only people that named our food after something invisible. Something that you could feel, like love and God. And when you have this dish, man, this is gonna put you in the presence of your ancestors. Ooh, ooh. That's done, guys. And we got that tender neck bone with the okra, tomatoes, and the jalapeno cornbread. A meat tender. Those flavors through and through. Man, this is a great pot. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. Need to get some of that in your life. The neck bone stew. It's all that. Thanks for watching Cooking with Flavor, guys. Do whatever you do, but do it with flavor. Peace.
What you're looking for, you can find it here on the whole TV. What you're looking for, what you're looking for.